Let's be real. Generative AI, it all comes down to one thing: data. It's the fuel that powers all this incredible new tech. But, and this is a big but, it's also the single biggest source of risk. So let's dive in and break down what that really means for you and your business.
I mean, you've seen the headlines, you've heard all the hype. AI is going to write your marketing copy, it's going to analyze your sales, it might even write your code. But if you're running a small or medium-sized business, you're probably asking yourself, okay, but can I actually use this? There's a huge gap between the promise and what feels practical, and that creates a whole lot of uncertainty.
And what's super interesting is when you ask business owners what's really holding them back, you might think it's just the price tag. And yeah, that's a big part of it. But look at this. The number one concern, at a whopping 44%, is data security. It's that fear that in the rush to adopt this cool new thing, something really important could get leaked or misused. And you know what? That concern is 100% valid. Because at the end of the day, that is the heart of the matter. The amazing power, the mind-bending potential, and yeah, the serious peril of AI, it all circles back to your data. I'm talking about your customer lists, your trade secrets, your internal emails. This is the fuel, and you have to know how to handle it safely.
So this brings us to what we can call the data dilemma. And it's not just one simple problem. It's actually a few different tangled-up challenges that every single business needs to get their head around before they go all in on AI.
We can pretty much break this whole dilemma down into three main buckets, right? First, we have to talk about the quality of the data itself. That's the foundation. Then, we've got to navigate the legal maze of handling personal data. And finally, we'll get into the wild, evolving world of copyright. So let's dig into each one.
You've heard the old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Well, with AI, it's that on steroids. If you train a model on bad, incomplete, or just plain wrong data, you're going to get unreliable, nonsensical results. But it gets worse. Low-quality data opens you up to nasty stuff like data poisoning. That's literally where bad actors intentionally feed the AI garbage to corrupt it, basically teaching it to lie or produce harmful stuff on purpose.
Okay, next up, personal data. And boy, is this a big one. Using info about your customers or your employees to train an AI, that's not just a technical puzzle, it's a legal minefield. Regulations like Singapore's Personal Data Protection Act, the PDPA, have super strict rules about how you can use that data. And getting this wrong isn't just a slap on the wrist, we're talking serious fines and a massive loss of trust.
And the third piece of our puzzle? Copyright. Think about it. These massive AI models learn their stuff by scraping huge chunks of the internet. And that includes copyrighted articles, photos, artwork, you name it. This raises some huge questions. Did the AI have the right to learn from that? And if it creates something new based on that work, who owns the result? It's a massive legal gray area, and honestly, countries all over the world are scrambling to figure it out.
So, with all these risks floating around, data poisoning, legal fines, copyright battles, how in the world do you move forward without getting burned? Well, you don't just close your eyes and hope for the best. You need a blueprint. You need a governance framework that turns all this scary stuff into a manageable step-by-step process.
And the great news is, we don't have to invent this from scratch. We can look at amazing examples like Singapore's Model AI Governance Framework for Generative AI. It's one of the first of its kind in the world, and it's basically a practical roadmap designed to help businesses like yours tackle these issues head-on.
Now, this framework is incredibly thorough. It's built around 9 key areas for creating a trusted AI system. I mean, it covers the whole shebang, from accountability and security to using AI for the public good. It's fantastic, but for our purposes today, we're going to zoom in on the one that started this whole conversation: data.
This is really where the rubber meets the road. It's one thing to talk about these big, high-level ideas, these principles, but how do we make them real? How do you take the theory from a framework and turn it into something you can actually do on a Tuesday afternoon while running your business? That's what this next part is all about. We're moving from the what and the why to the concrete how. These are the practical steps you can take. Look, most of us aren't building our own AI from the ground up, right? We're going to use tools from other companies. That means your first line of defense is being a smart shopper. Before you sign anything, you have to ask some tough questions. Are you going to keep my data separate from everyone else's? Critically, are you using my data to train your main model? Do you have security certifications? And if you get hacked, how fast are you going to tell me? Their answers to these are non-negotiable.
Let me make this crystal clear.
On the left, this is what you should never, ever do, just copying and pasting your confidential client list, your secret sauce, into a free public chatbot. On the right is the smart way. You anonymize the data first. That just means you strip out any personal info like names or emails. Then you use that clean data inside a secure, private tool that you have thoroughly checked out. And this right here? This might be the most important, practical step of all, and it comes straight from the governance framework itself. For anything that's important or sensitive, anything a customer or the public is going to see, you must have a human in the loop. Let the AI write the first draft, but a person, a real human, has to be the editor-in-chief who reviews it, approves it, and takes final responsibility. That's your ultimate safety net.
Now I know what you might be thinking. All these steps, all these rules, it sounds like it's just going to slow you down. But here's the twist. The exact opposite is true. By building this strong foundation of governance, you actually unlock the ability to innovate faster and, more importantly, safer.
So the key here is to just reframe how you think about all this. Good governance isn't a roadblock designed to stop you from doing cool things. It's the solid, stable launchpad that lets you experiment with this incredible technology without being terrified that it's all going to blow up in your face. It gives you confidence.
Because ultimately, it all comes back to trust. Trust from your customers that you're protecting their info, trust from your employees that you're using these tools in a smart, responsible way, and your own trust that you're building your business on a solid, secure foundation. That trust, that's what makes real, lasting innovation possible.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. We've established that your data is your company's most valuable asset. It's your gold. So the question is no longer if you should be using AI. The real question is how. And with the right governance, the right protections in place, are you ready to unlock its potential and truly power your growth?